Did you know Gina Carano was once the fastest rising search on Google in 2008? Blink and boom, everyone was typing your name. I mean, that's a pop culture earthquake.
Hey there, it's Emma, and I am totally energized today. Grab your iced latte, honey, because we're about to spill the tea on a woman who went from cage fights to Star Wars to courtrooms. No, but can you believe that?
So, let's talk. Gina Carano, ex-martial artist turned actress. From a 7-1 pro MMA record in the late 2000s to headlining action films and then landing on The Mandalorian in 2019, she helped mainstream women's MMA, did a hard pivot into Hollywood, and then hit the culture wars head-on. It's a lot, it's layered, and it's honestly fascinating.
Let me set the scene with a little life story from yours truly. A few years back, I got offered this very weird career opportunity. Picture me in a comfy editorial job at a fashion site. Paycheck regular, wardrobe steamed, vibes cozy. Then, a friend pitched a late-night livestream series about street-style mixtapes and celebrity looks, filmed guerrilla style, zero guarantees. It sounded chaotic and like a total no-go on paper.
But I said yes. The first episode was a hot mess. The mic glitched, my eyeliner fled the scene, and 3 viewers tuned in. 2 were my cousins. Still, I kept going. I learned soundboards, begged boutiques for midnight access, and taught myself to do interviews when the guest canceled 5 minutes before showtime. By month 3, we caught a viral moment with an up-and-coming singer. Definition time. That's a new artist just breaking through, who previewed a track live. Boom! Audience doubled, then tripled. And suddenly I wasn't just the safe choice editor. I was building something new.
Why tell you this? Because Carano's story is that energy. She could have stayed where she was winning. Instead, she embraced change, tried a new lane, and took the hits, sometimes literally. The lesson high key is that reinvention is a contact sport. You might get bruised, but the glow up can be real. Okay, basics. MMA, mixed martial arts, is like the Avengers of fighting styles. Striking plus grappling plus submissions. Think boxing meets kickboxing meets wrestling and jiu-jitsu. Carano came up through Muay Thai first. She had a 12-1 record there, and then jumped into MMA. From 2006 to 2009, she racked up 7 wins and 1 loss, and more importantly, she became a catalyst. When networks needed proof people would watch women fight, she delivered ratings and action. She was the foot in the door many others walked through.
And the milestones are wild. She did Strikeforce's first women's fight in 2006. And in 2007, she and Julie Kedzie being a pioneer bantamweight, put on the first televised women's MMA fight on Showtime. That was a banger. It got fight of the night. By 2009, she and Chris Cyborg, Brazilian powerhouse and future multi-division champ, became the first women to headline a major MMA event. Carano lost by TKO at the literal last second of round 1, but the cultural impact was the headline. After that, you couldn't argue women couldn't draw.
She also had, the messy parts that come with a sport still figuring out women's divisions. Weight class standards were all over the place. She missed weight once and had to hire a nutritionist, and there was that infamous weigh-in where she had to strip to make the number. Big yikes. But also, that's how intense and imperfect the era systems were. The sport was growing up in real time.
Then came the pivot. Steven Soderbergh, Oscar-winning director best known for Traffic and the Ocean's movies, cast her in Haywire in 2011. Her physicality was the selling point. Critics literally said you can feel the hits. She later noted they tweaked her voice in post, but the action read as legit. Fast and Furious 6 in 2013 put her in a franchise cage match with Michelle Rodriguez, yes, Letty from the Fast saga, an action icon, then Deadpool in 2016 as Angel Dust. If you ever wondered whether authentic movement can outweigh classic drama training in action, her career is Exhibit A.
Put yourself in her shoes for a sec. You're a fighter whose face and weight are policed on camera. You headline in 2009, then jump into a major director's lead a couple years later. Every stunt says you belong. Every line delivery gets dissected. That balancing act is brutal, and she kept stacking roles. Also, side note, she'd already dabbled in TV as Crush on American Gladiators in 2008, so the whole crossover thing wasn't a fluke. It was a blueprint. But of course, fame isn't only glamorous. Cue the controversy. In 2019, she lands The Mandalorian as Cara Dune, Star Wars' first live-action series under Lucasfilm, with Pedro Pascal as the title character. Cara Dune becomes instantly recognizable. Then, in early 2021, Carano shared posts on social media, including a comparison referencing the persecution of Jews before the Holocaust. Lucasfilm called the posts abhorrent and said she's no longer employed. Her talent agency drops her. The internet loses its mind as it does. Here's where it gets thorny. Critics said she trivialized historical atrocity and spread misinformation during a volatile time. She later said in 2022 her intention was a warning against people turning on each other. Some fans pointed to Pedro Pascal, again her co-star, making his own historical comparisons a few years prior, and argued double standard. Others said the content, context, and employer judgments weren't equivalent. If you wanted a case study on impact versus intent, this is it. My take: free speech is not free of consequences, especially when your employer's brand is like the Death Star of global IP. Corporations protect image, that's their religion. But I also think public figures need better media literacy. If you invoke extreme historical trauma, you'd better be precise, empathetic, and ready for the blowback. Words carry receipts, choose wisely. Post-firing, she partnered with the Daily Wire, conservative media company, to make films, released Terror on the Prairie in 2022, and then in 2024 filed a wrongful termination lawsuit against Disney and Lucasfilm. Elon Musk, tech billionaire and owner of X, funded it. A judge denied Disney's motion to dismiss in 2024, so the suit moved forward, and by mid-2025 they settled. No trial, case closed. It's like the Hollywood tech and culture wars Venn diagram overlapped and said, "Surprise, here's your headline." Meanwhile, pop culture receipts. She was on the cover of ESPN's Body issue with Serena Williams in 2009. That's athletic royalty territory. She was voted hottest woman in America in 2008 by a business mag. Search engines were obsessed with her name that same month. Cara Dune, love her or not, had serious fan recognition in 2019 and 2020 because Carano brought real fighter energy to a galaxy that sometimes looks like foam core blasters. Authenticity is a flex you can't fake. Oh, and the comeback twist. In 2026, she returns for a one-off MMA bout against Ronda Rousey, former UFC champ and crossover star in her own right, and gets armbarred in 17 seconds. For the uninitiated, an armbar is a submission that hyperextends your elbow. Blink and it's over. It was a harsh reminder that elite MMA is unforgiving, especially after a long layoff. Still, the event proved that the names Carano and Rousey hold massive nostalgic power. The draw was real. There's also a softer footnote. She married Kevin Ross in 2022. He's a pro Muay Thai fighter who first introduced her to that sport, and they shared it publicly in 2026. Kismet moment. The fight world gave her everything, and, apparently, someone to walk through it with. So where does all this land us? For me, Gina Carano is a pioneer with complicated chapters. She helped normalize women headlining fight cards in the late 2000s. She proved that authentic physicality can anchor mainstream action movies. And she became a flashpoint in a larger conversation about speech, platforms, and power. Love her or side-eye her, she shaped lanes that didn't exist before. That's iconic, just saying. Okay, pause, because next time we're diving into another pioneer who made the octagon a household word. Yes, I'm looking at you, Ronda Rousey, the judo queen turned WWE speckle. We have to talk about the armbar heard round the world and the brand that followed.
So that's the tea, folks. Stay fierce, be mindful with your words, and never be afraid of a strategic glow-up. I'll catch you next time. Later.